You are now tuned in
to Lamark After Dark.
What's up, guys? Lamark After Motherfucking Dark. I'm not gonna say Motherfucking Dark because my mom listens now and she's like,
Hey, Miss Tiara.
You said like 3 curses and Chelsea has not even said her name. And I just felt offended. So I'm gonna not do the cursing in the beginning like that. I just felt like that's what y'all wanted.
But I do kind of like that though. Like, because what are people doing after dark?
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? Somebody said to me, like, your show Lamark After Dark, it's sun. Like, they were like, after dark, it's sunny. So, like, are you, like, you're doing a sunny show? I was like, fuck that.
Right. Because they tried it. They really thought
but that makes sense.
Right. They were reaching. What did you think you were, Nicki Minaj? Let's move on.
Yeah. We have a special guest in the building. Ken, welcome to Lamark After Dark.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Of
now,
course.
we have a backstory. Me and Ken met in Brooklyn College.
Yes.
And
2016.
Yes, 2016.
That was a time.
It was a time.
You were my first friend at Brooklyn College.
And you were mine.
We met, I think it was orientation, right? Yeah, orientation.
Yeah.
Ah, what a
You were
time.
so
Right.
sweet.
I try.
You weren't even trying. Like that I can genuinely tell that that is who you are. And I was like, I feel safe.
Yeah, it was a good
That's how I
time.
felt too
Yeah.
when I met him. Yeah, he'd be waiting for you at the door.
Oh, the
That's
door?
the thing about Lamar. He peep and then he's like, okay.
I'm just
Right.
very black woman power. So if
You
I see a black,
are.
strong woman that I can vibe with, we're here.
Yes.
Right.
So-
I love that.
How was your Brooklyn College experience? Start there.
Well, my Brooklyn College experience was boom.
Okay, right. Literally.
So I love Brooklyn College. In my time, I didn't finish at that time. But in my short, I was there for 2 semesters. I met lifelong. So now I'm still living, thank God. But I met friends that I still have to this day from my short time being there at that time in that season. And I messed up, man. Like I got dismissed after 2 semesters, and I was so mad at myself. But we're back now, which it's such a funny story because I flunked out because I had 2 majors. I had film production and finance, left side, right side brain, and I was killing it in my film classes. But my accounting class, bro,
Yeah. I've heard that is. I heard that's one of the hardest majors.
it's so hard. And I just I was so stressed that I forgot about my midterm. Like I didn't even show up. He was like, babe, I can't pass you. And at the time, that's when I was already on probation. So after that incomplete, they were like, you got to go, sis. So then from there, I owed them a bunch of money that I was like, I don't know how y'all going to get that because it ain't coming
Ask
out.
Joe.
It ain't. We did it, Joe.
Yeah.
It ain't coming out of my account. But I had my first big girl job last year, and I was showering, and no kids. Like I heard a whisper behind me, and I know this is the Holy Spirit right here. He said, "Pay off your school." And I was like, "You sure? Because that's like $3,000." And I was so hesitant to just like put that money down. But it was a full check worth of the funds. And I was like, you know what, nah, I'm just going to do it. I don't know what's going to happen after this, but I'm just going to do it. And then I ended up getting a invitation for readmission that following September, which was so out of the blue because they just don't like do that. Berkeley College does not do that.
They do not.
Okay, so I thought I feel and I know in my heart that was all divine. And now I'm back in school. And I'm 2 semesters away from my bachelor's in film production. So I'm so excited. And I'm dual biology major right now. So.
Ooh.
Oh wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're just really with the double major. Like
I'm really,
you're
yeah.
hitting
If I'm
it.
going to go there,
You're gonna
we got to
go
leave there with 2. We got to leave there with 2.
I love that.
Shout out to
That's
that.
that's
Yeah.
a great story.
Thank you.
Mm.
Yes.
Now, not only are you smart and doing the damn thing, but you're
Thank
also
you.
killing it in female fucking rap. Like you
Yes.
are really fucking good.
Thank
So
you
shout out
so
to that.
much.
And
Your
so
fucking
fun.
freestyle. I think the
Yeah.
Uchiwali freestyle is still. I play that shit to this day because it's
Oh my
so
gosh,
fucking,
thank you.
it's so fucking amazing.
I still remember one time we were driving one time and you played one of her songs. You were like, "Oh yeah, this is my friend.
Yeah,
this is
my-
her music,"
yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like, "Oh, this."
Fire.
Stop it, not you putting people
Yeah,
on
he
to
did.
me.
Look, I
That's
fucks
real
with it. I
love.
fucks with
That's
it.
real love. Thank you. Yes, no, the anthem, which is the Uchiwali freestyle, was my first recording. It was my first everything. It was the first song that I like really sat down and was like, I'm gonna record this. And I was never gonna put it out because it was so raunchy. It was so raw. And I was like, spit it from my sister in my nose. She was like, "What you gonna do with that?" I was like, "Nothing. Like, I want them to take me serious. I'm here talking about sucking dick." Like, and I'm like, "I can't put that out. Like, I'm a real MC." And she was like, "Girl, if you don't put that out,"
Right.
and I was like,
Best thing.
Glad
so-
you. Yeah, I was.
yeah, and that shit, it really set it off though. It set it off, and that's a true story, and that's a whole nother me we can get into too. But yeah, like
I love it.
toxic.
What made you want to start rapping?
Yeah.
Well, that's such a great question. I wanted to. Okay, I was a Def Poetry Jam baby. Okay, so love is
Mhm.
okay. I
That
was
girl.
Okay.
I'll never be that. I'm here with you. I was that.
You
too.
got,
Yes.
exactly. So I love Def Poetry Jam. So I started to write spoken word, and then the Notorious movie came out, and I was like, I always loved Lil' Kim, but when the movie came out, I think I was like 16 or so, and I was like, oh, I love her. Like I identified with her. Notorious, shout out to you for that performance because she really did the thing. And I was like, I think I could do this. And at the time, that's when Nicki Minaj was like bubbling. Like I think I changed my MySpace name to like Kendra Minaj or something. But we, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
But back to you. Yeah.
But back to me, yeah. So I couldn't write a rap to save my life. Like I really sat there and I tried to freestyle over Azalea Banks, which I love. I love her too. So you know, I love
shout out to Azalea.
the problematic queen.
Yeah. We spoke about her too.
I love them. They're just some smart, amazing, talented women. And I tried to freestyle over the Big Bad Beat, and it just nothing was coming out. And I was like, oh my God, like I suck. And I really wanted to sing at first. And then I was singing all the wrong notes. So I was like, maybe that's not funny. Maybe that's not my anointing. So I tried and I tried. And that's when I did filmmaking. I was like, all right, I can't be the artist. Let me make the visuals. Let me interview them. Let me be as close to the music as possible without actually doing it. And then I met one of my best friends. Her name is Wisdom. I met her and I started doing all her visuals for her. I was choreographing, doing her makeup. I do all these things. So literally everything around the artist I did except do the music. And I was feeling unfulfilled. We did all this great work and she would fight me on some things. I'm like, I love you to death, girl. But like I'm putting all this energy into you, she's amazing. She's actually one of my favorite artists. But I was like, I'm around this. I'm obviously capable. Just learn. If you want to sing, girl, learn to sing. So at the time I was at Mac and I spent my little coins and I got a vocal coach. And at the time, that's when I met this guy and we hit it off crazy. We linked to Uchiwali instrumental, and then I went home and then I wrote the anthem. And then I was like, oh, well, all I needed to do was be inspired to write. And then it was from there. So I just had this really, like, I was determined to make my dream come true. And I was like, I got to put faith in it and faith in myself. Cause you got to bet on yourself. So that's what I did.
It's so dope to see like the connections and like
Beautiful.
even like I feel like the universe just lets you know like, no, I'm gonna help you. Like I'm gonna make you sure that
Right.
you know
Yes.
you see it. And I feel like with your story, is so many like parts in there that the universe is just like, nah, let me push you here, let me push that person here to like really help with that. So
Absolutely.
that's dope.
Absolutely.
Now there is there's some pros and there's some cons in being in entertainment.
Oh, for sure.
What are some you would like to share?
Well, because I spent so much time in the background as a dancer, makeup artist, filmmaker, low-key a manager, social media manager, all these things that I did for other people, I was able to see how not managing your wellness, your mental wellness, not having a faith structure, a foundation for your faith, because the music industry is such a dangerous and dark and lustful place that you can easily be misled, you can easily be deceived, you can easily be drugged. All of these vices that are around you to kind of repress insecurities and sadness. All of these things are so available that you can pick up the wrong thing and it could end your life. And then also dealing with people, dealing with men in the industry who, as they see, you know, a young woman, they're like, oh, I'll sell you a few dreams. I was gonna curse. Have sex with you.
You can cuss as much as you want to.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck you or whatever. And then like, fuck you. And that can really just hurt you way past emotional. It hurts you to your soul. So it's so many pros and cons of that. I think I just spoke about all of them. Like, just knowing who you are. I felt like when you go through such heartbreak in that way, and it's friends, it's romantic, all these people that let you down, and you're dealing with your dream, which is something so intangible, but you have a vision that no one else can see, and you're trying to sell yourself to the people around you and to people who you don't know. So it's so important. The con of it is that you have to rely on people outside of yourself to become successful. I remember when I first started, and I was dating an artist who, he was just so talented in all of the arts. He was a painter, but the man could sing. He could just play the piano, whatever. He wasn't even trying. And I was like, I gotta try to sing. I gotta try to write. I gotta try. This things come natural to you. You don't understand the pressure that I'm under. Like, if it's not good, I don't go nowhere. And he's like, no, just. So what if it's not good? I'm like, bro, you breathe. It's good. Like, shut up. But I needed to go through someone not understanding that, someone who couldn't help me with that, so that I learned how to build it myself. So no one can take it from me. Not a soul. Pro-con.
Any advice you would give to your younger self that was just starting out? Any advice to anybody that's just starting out right now that would be in your position?
I would say, trust in the Lord with all your understanding, all your heart. And I know, like, people don't want to talk about and don't want to call out Jesus, but you need Jesus. Like, I'm not even going to sit up here and say otherwise. Like, that's what I would say. You need to know the truth of your identity and who he made you and who you are in Christ. And that way you'll be able to overcome these fears that you have, that you try to look towards other people and look towards, like I said, towards sex and drugs and friends that are not really your friends, and just all types of things to fill that void inside of you. But I would tell myself and anyone, that void, that emptiness, that unforgiveness, that hurtfulness, that depression, that anxiety, the things that keep you up at night, talk to God about it.
I can see like I don't want to say the pain, but I feel like the shit that you've been through, I can feel it.
I can feel it, yeah.
And I feel like it's been a journey.
Mm-hmm. What?
And I feel like my spirit is letting me to tell you, like, it's going to be okay. You know what I'm feeling? I feel like that's what my spirit is trying to say. And I feel like
thank you.
Shit it's rough. Me and Chelsea talk about this all the time. I feel like the tunnel is always getting darker, but we see the light, but it's like, oh, not yet, bitch. But I feel like everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, unfortunately, in some ways. Did you want to share any story that you may have went through that you're comfortable sharing on the show?
Yes. Oh man, what? My life is an open book, and especially like right now, being a semester away from my thesis, I'm still trying to figure out like how I want to like approach my thesis film, because there's so many things that have happened that needs to be on film, and Tyler Perry better never steal it. Like I'm so scared for this "Who the Fuck Did I Marry" girl, because I'm like, he's gonna take this in Medea or something, and I'm gonna be so mad, girl. You needed to write a memoir. But okay,
shout out to Risa.
Shout out to her. Pray for your healing, girl. Right. But okay, so I just released my latest release is called Flossie, and it's a true story, and it's about a time where I was 19 or 20 at the time, and I was dating an older guy. I think he was about like 4 years my senior or something, or like 5. And I was really looking for love. Like I needed love. I didn't feel loved anywhere in my life. So I met this guy. He just reminded me so much of my father, which sounds kind of cringy, but he reminded me of my father in all of the non-sexual ways, like in the safety ways. He was Jamaican like him. He did certain things that I remembered. So my dad, he actually got deported when I was 12. So I hadn't seen him since 12 years old. And I didn't even realize at the time that I wouldn't see him again. So he came and said bye, but I was like, oh. I didn't really understand until like years went by. I'm like, shit, like, damn, y'all got your dad. Damn. So when I met this guy, he just reminded me of him. I was like, oh, I like you. There's a lot of red flags about you, but I'm going to stick it out. So not years, but maybe a year went by, and he was in the street. I met him there. And he used to get into trouble with the law a lot. Like, he would call me from jail a lot. And he would get beat up because he was dealing, hard drugs. So the police would really beat him up, especially if he made them run. So he would call me sometimes and be really, really hurt, and it would just hurt my soul. And I'm like, yo, you can't keep doing this. Like, you have to do something else, because all that work that you putting in, they're taking your money, they're beating you up, you're in jail. Like, you gotta do something else. So at the time, I was a manager at Victoria's Secret, and I was like, look, I could get you a job, an entry job at my last location. At least the money that you make, no one can take from you. So we did that. And he started, do really well. It wasn't the same kind of money or the same pace of money, but at least no one can take it from you. And that's what I just kept saying to him. So we went out on a date, and what happened? We went on a date, and then we went home, and he did some sort of like a legal turn or something. And the reason why we went on the date was to celebrate that he's held down this job, and he's living clean, we riding clean. That was the purpose of us going out. He does an illegal turn, and this is like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and the police, flag us down, stop. He's in his sister's car. So I'm thinking like, all right, regular traffic stop. You ain't do nothing. We didn't even drink, so like there's no reason to be nervous. So the police get out of their vehicles, one on one side, one on his side. And then all of a sudden, this man just plops a whole bag of crack in my lap. And I'm like, now I'm green as shit. Like, my mom didn't play that. I didn't even know what crack was. I didn't know what it looked like. Yes, Chelsea. Yes.
Chelsea.
Yes.
Where he at?
So you see,
where you at?
You see how shocked you are? But you see how shocked you are?
Yes.
Imagine the shock of me. And now I have to act like nothing happened because this police officer steps away with a flashlight, and I'm like, I got to put it in my bag. I guess that's what I have to do at 19 years old. So this police officer, I have this big old 20. How old was I? I don't even. So I had to be 19. So this was 2009 or something. So we used to carry those big old bags. Mm-hmm. So I had this big old bag. And I shoved it down there. And now this police officer with the flashlight is asking me for my ID. So now I have to act cool. Act like there's not 15 years of drugs in my bag. And try to get my permit, look cool, smooth, not show that there's actual shit in my bag. Doing all of this. This man don't say nothing. Nothing. And I'm like, oh, God. So they end up running my name. I didn't have a record, obviously. They pulled him out the car. I made him do a breathalyzer test. He did that. He didn't even have a license. He had a permit. So they were just really trying to find something to take him on. But clearly, thank God, they did not pull me out the car, did not search me. They didn't feel the need to. And I'm just being extra, polite and like a little mouse. And so we end up leaving, and they end up letting us go. They gave up a ticket for driving after hours with a permit or whatever. And we never spoke about it again. And we never said anything about it in the car ride home. And I never said anything. I tried to make sense of it on my own. And I was like, I guess that's what I was supposed to do. I hope that means that he can trust me. But I'm really upset because I put my life on the line for you. for that, but I also made sure you got a job. So like, are you really going to work? Like, I really feel like, who the fuck am I with? Like, I feel like I feel like homegirl. Like, what is going on? And it took me years to even admit to myself that happened. And I was in that relationship. Honestly, was one of the most toxic and just horrible relationships, tumultuous relationship. It was a lot of physical abuse. It was a lot of mental abuse. He ended up being diagnosed with some mental issues later down the line, and it was just crazy. And I was just way too young to deal with any of that. And he ended up cheating. Like,
wow,
right.
I felt this in my soul.
This was.
You are an
intense.
amazing oratory speaker.
Oh, thank you.
I feel
so
like
much.
you have some ancestry.
Claps.
I feel like you have some ancestry where you come from storytellers. Maybe your family or something.
You know
like
what's
that.
so funny?
But you are like, you know how to make people feel what it is that you're going through. It's hard to forget you because you make people feel it. You know? So I really like that. Thank you for sharing that, because that's really difficult, especially like as a young girl.
Super young. I couldn't talk to my mom about it. Couldn't talk to anyone about it. I went to work the next day and I talked to someone that I was like close with at work, and I was like, yo, this happened last night and I had to put it in my bag. And he was like, yo, that was stupid. Like, that was dumb, KEN.DRA. Like, and I thought, I'm talking to him, and he's usually, you know, privy to all of that, like street code and shit like that. But he was like, nah, like, that man don't love you. I'm sorry. And I didn't want to hear that. Because I needed it at the time. But it's funny that you say a storyteller, because I actually, the first thing I've ever done, well, not the first, but I came from dancing. But then when I was like in 5th grade, I entered a storytelling contest. And like, that's where it starts from
Oratorical contests and stuff like that.
Yes. And then visual. But I love telling stories, because that's how we connect, and that's how we learn from each other. And that's why I created, and that's why I wrote Flossie. So the first line is, me and my nigga was Flossie. Never thought he would cross me. Damn, look what it cost me. Because for real.
You have kept me captivated. No, and we have also shout out to Noah here.
Like,
Noah's here, like,
over here.
we over here, like, whoa, like this. And usually, like this
crazy.
show, we are like all over the
breathtaking,
place,
honey.
but this is very
Good.
wow.
You
Like,
are
thank
special.
you, and thank you so much for sharing. That's such
Thank
a personal story
Yeah.
on this platform, because I feel like, you know, you could be helping so many different people that's just listening, and that's real shit. And I'm really sorry that you even have to go through that. But I feel like you going through that is a testament of who you are today and who you can help. And yeah, but fuck him. Like, let's say, yes, it's definitely a fuck him.
Definitely fuck him.
Yeah.
But also it's a testament to the Lord and his grace and his mercy, because that could have ended so differently.
Yeah.
And there's so many women who are sitting up doing real federal time behind a man. And it's because we feel that we have to. I felt obligated. I felt like I had no choice. He took my choice from me. And I felt like, how dare you dangle my destiny in your hand? And it was God. It was Jesus. Like, I control your destiny. I have plans for you that are good and not to harm you. He clearly has plans to harm you. And you clearly used me like a pawn. You used me like a sacrificial lamb. But the Lamb of God said no. So, yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to know when you're dancing with the devil.
Ooh.
Shout out to Demi.
Ooh.
That song.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about her. Sorry.
That was a
But
song.
Especially.
Do you feel like, and I know that I can relate to this, is that sometimes me and my dad's relationship is shit. So in the past, I would look for love in different places with men, and I feel like I wouldn't, because I feel like my self-worth wasn't where it needed to be. I would find shitty men. Do you feel like that was also a factor in that situation with the guy?
Absolutely. I did not see myself. I did not see my worth. I didn't see my value. I needed him to tell me. I needed him to love me. I needed him to love me, because then that meant that I'm lovable. I was coming, and for me to have been so young and dealt with heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak, it was like, man, there's something wrong with me, clearly. But there was something wrong, and it was, I didn't realize the prize that I had. I didn't realize how special I already was. And I wish that someone would have told me to remain a virgin. I really wish that I would never had given any of those men to touch me, any of those. I wish it never. I wish just, man, For real.
I feel that.
Because that also lead, like, it makes, you know how many times I've stayed in a situation because the sex was good?
I've never had like really good. That's another question.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Or I've let someone come back in my life because I needed to feel intimacy in that way, or I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not. And once this past year, God has been on my back about celibacy and abstinence. Like, I'll tell y'all a story. The last time that I had sex, one of the last times, after we was done, I kid you not, y'all, I heard the voice of the Lord say, "This is not my will for you, my daughter." Imagine you just bust a wild nut and you just turn over. This is not my. I said,
Yeah, I would just. I would be like,
way.
yeah, I would just.
I was like, yo, you was here for all of that? You saw all of that? Jesus. Okay.
Sometimes I think about that with the spirits, like when you're having sex, like are they watching, like what's going on?
They be watching.
Yeah.
No, God sees all. And my point is, for him to feel so like it was so urgent for me to hear that. Nah, I just don't feel right about it anymore.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because my catalog is so sexual, and God will use people that way. Will use the people who need to be.
Like Lady Saw. She's a big dance. You know who Lady Saw is?
I
Okay,
love
yeah.
her.
She was a big dancehall artist, for those you don't know.
Legendary.
Before there was a Spice, if you're familiar with Spice, there was Lady Saw.
And she's one of my inspirations.
Yeah, she's raw. I mean, I'm talking, if you know, you know. So, and she turned to God as well. She became a whole pastor and just did away with like her sexual nature. So I definitely understand that a lot of women who, use that as their catalyst, I find, end up finding themselves through spirituality or through religion or the Lord. So that's deep. That's really deep.
You had a lot of ride or die tendencies, and that's the title of this episode is Ride or Die, and when it's too much. And I guess like we can dive into the question of the night, which is, would you consider yourself a ride or die person?
No, not no more.
And why is that?
For Jesus.
After my last like really solid relationship, which was years ago, this was my high school sweetheart, and I realized the reality of dating and relationships, and that sometimes you think that things are so final in your life, and they're not. It's just a part of the journey, and being so young and not realizing everything that was ahead of you. So yeah, from there I was just like, my mindset, it's a bit different now.
But ride or die can be for friends too, as far as like
no,
family.
absolutely. Like, I'm a ride for you, but there's only so, like, are they dying for you?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, majority of people are going to put themselves first. Even the people that, like, I mean, you love to death. You have some family members that are going to put themselves first. So I think that's why it's so imperative that when you do meet those people who show you they really are for you, you stick beside them.
Yeah.
we ride with those. But, like, ride in a sense of where I shouldn't have to be putting myself in harm's way to have a relationship with you in any way, whether it's a friendship, an intimate relationship, nothing. And anybody who cares about you doesn't want to see that for you either.
Right.
So that's my answer. I don't believe in that, but I do believe in, like, I like that theory though of like unconditional love, because I think what's ride or die is the unconditional, not the situations that come out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was talking to somebody about this, and it was just kind of like, I thought I like really loved somebody, and they were like, "Would you have died for them?" And I was like, "No." So then I was like, "Oh shit, did I really love them?" Because like I feel like I would die for my mom or like my brother, but like, dang, that's a lot. So I guess the whole ride or die culture, I feel like can be very fucking toxic because like, especially in relationships, because like, nigga, who are you? In my personal
who's riding
opinion.
or who's dying, and that's why the song is critiquing this misogynoir of it, because it's like made for women to sacrifice themselves. I don't see hetero men,
unless you're papoose.
I like how you said hetero men. I appreciate you. Please.
I don't see them sacrificing. I don't see them not in the unconditional loving way, because I had this conversation with a friend of mine, Birdie, shout out Birdie. He was like, yo, there's so many men who are raising children who are not theirs, who think that they're theirs. And I'm like, you know what? Yes, that's a whole nother thing too. So I won't deny that betrayal and that hurt, because I will never know that. But as far as the same treatment that hetero men have, or expectation, let me say that, of their partners, of Black women, of going to jail if you need to, eating a charge if you need to, accepting sister wives if you need to, accepting women with babies and all types of stuff. And
I mean, even
they
just like
accept.
the jails, like the women jails, I hear like it's barely visitors. Like the men's jails, there's so many fucking visitors that it's like crazy. Like it's like your girlfriend will come on Monday, your wife will come on Tuesday.
Yeah, this is making me want to bring up Remy Ma and Papoose directly, but apparently, allegedly, Remy went the other way. But he's the only male I know that was really riding for his lady, like up there every single week doing what he needed. Like he genuinely loved her. And I'm just the type of person where it's like, I feel like if you're able to feel that or do that, there's other people out there that can do that too. So I do think there are people who know how to love unconditionally.
Absolutely.
But those people are constantly in danger.
Yeah.
Those of us that wear our hearts on our sleeve, we're constantly in danger because there's always people looking to be energy vampires, to take whatever they can so that they can keep going.
So you have to guard your heart. Like from it all, everything flows from it.
Did we say your sign? Did we
I don't subscribe to astrology.
Oh.
Born September 4th.
Okay. Big
Okay.
Virgo. Okay. we do. We subscribe. We'll do it for you.
To freedom.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
We love it. Okay, our last guest was a Virgo too. We like
I
it.
think it was the same birthday.
It was the second, he said.
Oh,
Yeah, his was the second.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so that was an Instagram post about a guy proposing to his lady from jail. Like he was in jail.
I've seen that.
And I'm just
and
like,
it was extravagant.
It was very extravagant. So I was like, niggas. Like the next person I deal with, if they're not on that type of timing, I'm not fucking with it. If he can propose to her through jail, you mean to tell me you can't text me back? Like fuck all. Like I'm that. Yo.
Yeah.
I'm a new person now. Cause y'all have me fucked up.
I prayed before I came here.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go, Lamark.
All right, y'all. Lamarck's Corner. Lamarck's Corner, where I answer all the questions you guys send me, advice, shade, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Lamarck's Corner. I'm so sorry. I was texting my mom, and she's texting me now, so I'm gonna have to edit that part out because shit. I may just keep it in though. Y'all see. Y'all understand. Anyway, Lamarck's Corner. Question number 1: do you ever regret cutting someone off?
No, because in my former seasons, I was a serial people pleaser. So if I did cut you off, you gave me the scissors, baby. I should have did it way before. Now, I just have an understanding that everyone has their own stuff, and life is happening for everyone. And you may disappoint me, and I may disappoint you. So I don't take it no type of way. If we're not gelling right now in this season, again, like I wish you well. Yeah.
I'm going to have to say the same. I used to also am a reformed people pleaser. And I find it easier now for sure to let certain things go. But I'm still working on like moving past certain things.
I'm working on forgiveness. I think my forgiveness started with my dad and just realizing that situation. And just realizing that he just don't fuck with me. And I just had to forgive him for the things that he did to me as far as abuse and just move past that and just know that, like, it is what it is. Like, nothing I can do for that. But it's also just learning that people are just people. Like, you can't be you for them. And I feel like at the end of the day, I just had to really work on moving past it and just setting everybody love and light. And I think that is what helps me to grow in my career. It's just being a good fucking person. Like, I think that, through and through, I don't think there's anybody on this earth that, you're always a villain in someone's story, but at the end of the day, I'm always trying to not be the villain, if that makes sense. Like, I really try to see everyone's perspective and try to be understanding. My dad is a piece of shit, but if he called me right now and was like, hey, I really need your help, I feel like I would think, I wouldn't just be like, fuck you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really have a heart. And that's just how and he's my worst person, I feel like, in this lifetime that I've dealt with. So
Sorry.
yeah, no, I miss life. I feel like it builds character. I feel like trauma builds character, and it also
definitely does.
helps with just helping with I think my purpose on this planet is to go through the trauma that I went through to help other people with, whether it's creative processes or whether this is a show or whatever. I mean, again, like I want to create a platform for people to just laugh, have a good time, and get away from what they're dealing with already, because life is fucking hard right now. Like I don't know if anyone's like talking about it, but it's really hard. And
it's all we talk about.
But like the real, like we do like the whole like, I feel like we glitter it. Like we glitter like the whole like life and shit right now, but I feel like we never like really deep dive into like life. And we're not, because that's not what this show is about. And I feel like it's a million shows talking about war and culture stuff and like I don't know.
There's too much
going on. Like we just want you to laugh, do a cute little thing. I feel like this show is great to like put on like before you go out.
Yeah, just in the background, like you about to,
yeah,
and then you turn your little music on the side. Like we're here for that.
Right? Yeah, yeah. It's like a pre-turn up. I mean, we also have some serious episodes. Like I feel like this one has. This was
a lot more serious than I thought it was gonna be. I'm thinking we're gonna be talking about, I don't know.
Like Uchiwali.
Yeah, the Uchiwali. Busting it open. Dropping a little net.
This is season, it's clear. You know what I mean?
Class and decorum. It's, on Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, I get you that. All right, next question. If your man ever goes to jail, are you staying? And if so, how long? I feel like that's crazy. That's the question.
Can I skip that? Because I'm not staying.
If it's my husband.
Is it some revolutionary stuff?
Like, and that too.
Yeah.
'Cause I've been watching, I've been watching Genius, MLK/X, which is like a what can I speak? Dramatization of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, but side by side. So you get to see the differences of their approach. But it's so beautiful because you see the relationship between Betty Shabazz and also Coretta Scott King and how they had to deal with their men being in prison and beaten up and obviously assassinated eventually. But if it's some revolutionary shit, what?
Yeah,
I think I'm Coretta. But
I'm not gonna lie. My name is Chelsea. I am not Coretta. There's certain things that Coretta dealt with that I'm not dealing with, but I'm with the shits to an extent. Yes.
I don't know. It depends. I know a lot of correction officers. I just don't want to be like, I don't want to be that person like in there. Like, hey, is that Lamark? Like, I don't, no. Lamark, were you gonna You're like, no.
How long they got you?
Yeah.
And low key, like that whole process of checking in.
Yeah, that shit is the worst.
That's traumatizing. It's so traumatizing. And I don't
you gotta take all
your
piercings out. It's just a lot. It's a lot.
When I did go there, like I would just make sure to wear things with no pockets. Like I don't want you to. Please don't.
Yeah, get on the bus. Oh, was it Rikers?
I did go to Rikers one time, but there's some like I guess bookings downtown in Brooklyn or something like that. Yeah, but
that's
I had a guy that was in that bucket. Oh, you know what? No,
Chelsea. What's the story?
No, what? No. I had a pass. All right, next question. Sometimes I daydream about being slutted out by random guys. Is that normal?
No, baby, it's not. It's not.
Okay. Let's break this question down.
I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that for you, babe. Like
random guys or like fantasy guys?
It says sometimes I daydream about being slutted about random guys. Is that normal?
No.
Maybe that person, you know what? I think back to what KEN.DRA said. I wouldn't say that that's not normal. Everybody has their own kink. Everybody has their own thing about them. It doesn't make you unnormal. You know what I mean? Unless you're out here doing something harmful or it's extremely inappropriate. But at the same time, I don't feel like because you're a sexual being and that's something that you want to experience, that will make you.
Yeah, just be safe. Just be safe.
Just be safe if that's what you are doing. Yeah.
So, next question. What is the hardest part of being in your 20s? Or having your 20s?
Feeling like you like
a failure. And like when you think that you have this like imaginary
timeline, yeah,
and you really don't. Like, yeah.
I guess like people figuring like people acting like it's like you're not grown enough, but you're grown. It's weird. It's like the
so
older
hard.
generation doesn't treat you like you're grown, but then like you're grown. It's weird. I don't know.
But then I feel like the older we get it. Especially now, I'm looking at the younger. Like I have kids who like I watched go into college and I mentored them or whatever, and it's just like, damn, like I get it now. Like certain things I understand. Like you're young enough where it's like it's excusable, but old enough where at the same time it's not.
Yeah.
Especially depending on what level of life you're cognitively functioning on.
Right.
So
glad you said college. That's crazy. The last question. Since you guys went to college, would you recommend college for the younger generation, even though most personalities don't go to college for radio?
I would definitely recommend college to everyone. I think that it is a great place to learn yourself. I think it's a great place to learn discipline. Even in like me, like I flunked out twice. Like I feel like that made me such a better person. It made me a better personality. It made me relatable. It made me humble. And that's just with any sort of failure in life. But I also learned to meet friends in my adult life, which also is a blessing. So I would, go to college, y'all.
I would say some type of schooling for sure. Just for like you said, social skills, and also just to learn the craft.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people that are just doing these things, trust me, they're not going to be here for the long run.
Talk about it.
So that's just don't believe the hype. There's a lot of people that I've met with millions of followers, and trust me, they are not. It's
journalists.
It's not.
They're not.
It's not what you think it is. So don't.
Same thing.
I would definitely. But also learn what you want to do for you. Like, don't look at somebody else and be like, damn, I should do that. But like, do you really want to do it? Because nothing's going to be easy. Like, I feel like you have to really love what you want to do and put your mind to it. And I feel like that will, like, it's going to be challenges in any job. But if you love what you're doing, it won't be as bad.
Exactly.
So
I'll be led with love because everything that I did down to like, I thought I was going to be like the top makeup artist in the world until I worked at Sephora. I was like, I hate this shit. Like, maybe not. What's the next one? All right, I want to be a dancer. I do, but maybe not. Like, so try things. Anything that you feel brings you joy, follow that, and then see how you feel.
Will,
Yeah.
It'll take you all kind of ways.
Right.
Because I can attest to that. Came from radio and then ended up in the animal industry. Like you wouldn't know those are two different.
Tell me what?
Those are two different parallel worlds, right? But I really love animals, so I was passionate about getting into that. I started off working for a company. I won't even say their name, no free promo, but they're cool. And then I ended up getting into veterinary reception, which I was really like, oh, okay, I really do like this. And then I just learned more and more. And ever since I moved to New York, I was a dog walker and pet sitter. So like just very animal savvy and knowledgeable. And I was like, there's a lot of money to be made over here. Why can't I do both?
Right.
And so I did. And I was like, this is how I'm gonna get my bread. Like,
I love it.
and I love both. Yeah, for sure. So I understand.
What are 3 things that you wish for your careers?
Longevity, growth, financial gain.
Ooh, I love it.
happiness, stability, and impact.
Mm-hmm.
If I could pick 6, I would put all
yeah,
the things together.
yeah.
I love it. What do you think is your purpose on Earth?
I'm still figuring that out. But I know one of it is definitely to empower others around me and just to create dope shit. To always be out of the box. Never been in it. So I don't know what that's like. So
I never in the box either.
Yeah,
at this point, we're outside the box together in the rectangle.
Right. Like, okay.
I know that I feel like my purpose is to like on this planet is to do something with entertainment. I feel like I'm just really good at it.
I agree.
I think that I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to help people with like platforms, like kind of like have a platform and bring them on and help them express their story. I think a lot of musicians or just a lot of artists in general make a lot of dope things, but can't really express themselves in their things. And I feel like my platform is to help them talk about it in the way. Like I really enjoy having conversations, even though I'm very shy at times. But I guess that's just the whole catch-22 of things. So I think that's one of my things on this earth. Yeah, I think I'll leave it
I love
there.
that you're like that. You are definitely everything that you spoke of. You are walking in. You're doing it so well. And
Thank
so,
you.
Like intentional. So that's amazing. And my last question for you all is, What has your pain taught you?
Oof.
Keep that mustard seed.
Mm.
That's my phrase. Keep that mustard seed, because there's so many situations where if I did not keep that little mustard seed, I would not be right here. So yeah,
I love that.
My pain has taught me that to keep pushing and it gets better. I think it always
gets better. It's so hard to like remember
it's
that.
so fucking, especially
because when you're
in
in it, all you can
like
see
forever.
is it's just a whirlwind of shit. And then whatever, even if you get that one little window of realizing like this is not forever, this is right now. This is only forever if I want it to be. Like
How can you remember that in the midst of the storm though? Like, what do you think?
For me personally, it takes that time to step away, that inner strength, that meditation, that self-awareness that I've built up. And also I am spiritual as well. I think you're on a different plateau with it, but I'm definitely like, yeah, I'm tapped in as well. And I just,
I'm not on that mountain.
right. I tap into that. Seriously. I tap
Yes.
into that. I really believe in like discernment, and I'm so big on self-love. So like you have to tap into that. You have to come first. I'm not saying be a selfish person, which a lot of people get confused. You have to come first. If you're going to pour into any other cup, what are you pouring out if there's nothing there to pour? What are you doing to yourself? You know? So that's what I tap into. And it might take me a few days because sometimes I need time to really, resonate. But one thing about me is I want to rise. Like every, flowers die, they come back to life. Doesn't mean those roots are not still under the soil. Water yourself again. The seasons change. So that's what I do. And it's not easy. It takes time.
That's a
definitely.
word.
I want to go back to your question. It was a question, Lamar's Corner question about like the hardest thing, like you regret. And I think the hardest thing that I mean, don't regret. Like the hardest thing you have to do, but you don't regret. I think is like leaving my dad's house. I think I was like 16. I think that was the hardest thing because he was my biggest bully. And I don't think I ever like really talked about it. I'm not with my book, but to really get the full scoop. But I think that was probably the hardest thing because at that point I didn't feel like I had. I mean, I had my mom, but I'll dive more deep into that in the book situation. But I think that was probably the hardest to like literally leave. And it wasn't an easy leave because he's awful. So it wasn't just like a good time. But I think that was a really tough decision, but really helped me because I think if I stayed, I would have killed myself probably.
What
like for
kept
sure.
you?
Fear and not knowing if I have the support when I'm leaving. I went back and forth with my mom and dad. Like there was different homes. So like I think that it just the whole man thing. I think my dad was he's very suave. Like he's like my biggest enemy, but like very loved by people. So it's really hard to to have somebody that like everyone loves is like your biggest fucking enemy.
And that person is the reason that you have so many.
Right.
So
I think that was just a whole. I mean,
we don't have to get into it. I see this as hard. We don't have to get into it. But thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Absolutely.
Maybe one day I'll just do a whole thing about
Yeah.
that. But I feel like that may be a pay because we're not gonna cry on the show. Well, no,
We haven't
I've been
yet.
trying to get.
Have
one of
we
us to
cried
cry
yet?
For like ratings.
We got teary-eyed, but we didn't cry.
We didn't cry. Heartbreak was rough. Heartbreak
rough.
was rough, and Insecurities was kind of rough. But we didn't really. We haven't. We need to cry at the finale so we can.
Lamarck,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with crying.
There's
No, it's
not.
not.
It's
It's
just
just-
really, I struggle with that.
It's
I
hard
don't
for me
like-
to cry in public. I can
I
cry.
mean, I feel that, but it's just y'all here. And I will say that pain, is unfortunate to go through, but it brings an authentic, you know what I mean? Like it connects people.
Right. No two scars are alike. Like I think about it
Exactly.
like that.
Exactly.
Like it's a story to tell.
And you need to release. And even the
Absolutely.
sound of release, because this is a podcast, like it will unlock someone else's chains. And like, you don't know, girl, you started tearing, so a little sniffle, and somebody listening, like,
Yeah, I'm a cry in private kind of girl.
like-
If I cry in front of you, I'm really feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like to cry in private. Like
But
this
I
was a
feel
very
that.
rough week. Like I haven't cried this much in a very long time, but there's just a lot going on. So I'm just overwhelmed. And I had to release because it's like, what else am I going to do? And then everything's out of my control. So I just have to be okay with doing my best.
Yeah.
yeah. And that's
That's
good
it.
enough. Good enough.
That's it.
And when this comes out, I'm sure it'll be better.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Listen back to this and be like, remember when?
Right. When I was going through all that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you listen back? I don't.
I go back to certain clips, especially like our little promo stuff. I do go through them and go back because I'm like, oh, remember when we did that?
I had to listen to this. I'm not this shit, but I have to listen to this show like 4 times. Like when I'm doing it, when I'm editing, and then when I'm re-editing, and then when I'm putting clips, and then it's the whole thing. So it's like Lamark Dark my ass. Like I'm like I don't want to. It's just so like I don't want to hear this shit then again. So yeah, that's when people say like, oh, that so and so happened. It just like this. What episode? What episode came out today? Like 4.
Yes,
and that was with
Thomas Hollywood.
Yeah, and that we filmed that shit in what, November? So like I
had braids.
Yeah,
so know.
Like I don't know what the fuck we be saying. It's like I literally like tap the mic is like I tap in, and once the mic is off, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. It's like we're on. I don't know how to describe this. It's just a thing. That's why we get it. Like when we're on, and then as soon as it turns out, we try. I think it's just the years of
it's an organized
training.
mess.
Yeah.
Professional.
An organized mess.
Ken, thank you so much for coming to the show. You've been awesome.
Such a light, such an energy.
Thank you
Please
so
share
much.
your social media handles and wherever everybody can find you at.
Right. So KALL her Ken. That's call her Ken with a K. KALL her Ken.com. And that's also my handle everywhere: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah. And I am KEN.DRA. That's KEN.DRA with a dot in the middle on all of the major listening platforms. Wherever you like to listen to your music, I am there. KEN.DRA.
Fucking
Thank
period.
you guys so much.
This was a great show. Chelsea, any last words before we end this bitch?
No. I feel like I am speechless.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, round of applause.
Thank you for your energy and your
Noah,
time too.
Your reactions.
Appreciate you guys. Literally.
Love it.
This was great.
And we are, y'all. Lamark After Dark.
We
The
out.
season is not officially on. We're almost there. Yeah, we got like, and then we have to. Well, that's
And
a lot.
then-
Yeah, the finale.
We'll discuss because
Yeah,
it might
we'll-
be 3. But
yeah.
we'll figure it out.
But anyway, y'all, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Keep streaming. Keep loving.
Appreciate you guys. Seriously.
Yeah, we really do. Especially like the different people that listen, like the different demographics.
If you're in a different country listening
Yo,
to this,
we have like 12
Yo.
countries, so shout out to them.
no blood clot. Thank you, man. Thank you.
We get a
Okay.
lot of UK and a lot of India.
Yeah, we do.
So
I love that because
Yeah,
they love
sure
to
do.
see what we're doing over here. So I love that. And I'm sending love to everyone across the country, no matter
Yeah.
where you are, who you are, or what you're going through.
and the inmate listeners, thank you. We appreciate you guys as well.
Inmate listeners.
We do. So shout out to them.
For you.
Yeah.
Wow, thanks, guys. Listen, I hope you have the best commissary. Hit us up, man. Listen, we could do a Zoom. There's a lot we can do.
That you really could.
We will
All right, let me not push it. Lamarck is telling me shut up, so I will.
Have a good night or good whatever day. We're out.